What's up, family? So, get this video a big thumbs up. As always, I like to have authentic conversation, let off my thoughts, perspective, and insights, and also converse with you guys down in the comments as you guys give you guys thoughts in regards to the topic. So, as of right now, we have Caitlin Clark ex teammate Temi, who is now moved up to Golden State because the Indiana Fever have let her go from the team that Caitlin Clark is on about a week ago. But she also have let off her remarks in regards of Caitlin Clark comments when it came to what she said on Time Magazine being awarded Athlete of the Year. Now, we all know that Caitlin Clark is basically getting backlash in regards of her um, touting this whole white privilege thing and giving credit to those who are running in the Victim Olympics in regards of using their skin color and this whole race bait race card on why they should be awarded in regards of benefiting from the same benefits that Caitlin Clark is benefiting from when Caitlin Clark truly earned her position in regards of why she got why she got where she got, and basically created her own spotlight coming from college and her first year being in the WNBA as a rookie when these long time old fossil heads who already been in the WNBA in regards, in this case, the black players, because we all know that the WNBA has more predominantly African Americans within the WNBA and the women's basketball sport in its entirety. So Caitlin Clark ex teammate Temi has something to say, or ex Fever teammate, Indiana Fever teammate, has some remarks in regards of Caitlin Clark saying that white privilege exists and she should give credit to those before her, which are black players or female black players. But she had this to say, and let's read the article as it says. Caitlin Clark's ex-Fever teammate Temi weighs in on white privilege remarks. Former Indiana Fever forward Temi didn't shy away from addressing Caitlin Clark's comments about using her privilege to elevate black women. And it goes on to say, it seems just like about every American media member has offered their opinion on the comments Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark made about using her privilege to elevate black women during the December 11th interview with Time Magazine. However, there hasn't been much discussion from actual WNBA players about these comments, but that changed this Sunday from the former Indiana Fever forward Temi. And she said in her post on X, formerly known as Twitter, "Let me make this clear. Cece, which is Caitlin Clark, can speak about having white privilege without hating herself. Caitlin Clark can acknowledge the reality of race disparities without pandering to any group. Cece can celebrate the giants who have come before her without diminishing her own historic accomplishments." I agree. But then I don't agree. I agree to the point that she's basically saying that Caitlin Clark shouldn't be ashamed of the work that she put in and the accolades that she got because she worked for it. I disagree in regards of Morgan Freeman said it best in regards of not entertaining this whole race thing, right? The way you do not add fuel to it or the way you kill something is by not continue to talk about it. In this case, race and this whole divisive conversation in regards of white and black, when we all know that sports is based on predominantly the best winner wins. And that's how it goes. It's winners and losers. It's not black and white. But she goes on to say this is another tweet. I think most people know this. It's just a select group trying to twist things. The U.S. race issue is so ingrained that I believe a majority of them don't even think they are twisting anything. The immediate response to anyone talking about how race affects anything is denial. I don't believe. Now, I disagree with this in its entirety because the only race issues that come about being the only reason the visibility of race issue is being brought about is not amongst individuals or Americans within the U.S. actions. It's just coming about individuals continue to talk about it when you're freer than ever. You're freer than ever to do what you want to do when you want to do it. However, if you do things that don't fall in line to where you conduct yourself in society, when it comes to, for example, committing a crime, then you will be held accountable. But however, I don't see where's this race issue at the end of the day when you're freer than ever. You guys have opportunities more than ever, and you guys are in a league that is funded by the NBA which is on the backs of men's basketball players, because you guys cannot give a return on investment for investors. And these investors are basically owners of the men's basketball team, NBA owners, who are basically being convinced to invest in you guys' league, which is the WNBA, to create teams like a Herb Simon, who owns Indiana Fever, and he also owns the Indiana Pacers, back to Larry Bird. But you guys wanted this league, you got this league, and you advocated for this women basketball league, and you're still running to the Victim Olympics, but you want the benefit of Caitlin Clark, but you didn't earn it in the first place, let alone you got the league and you can add value to the league by continue to work on your craft, but instead you want to indulge in conversation that is just denigrating to the whole league, in which why people don't watch it in the first place. But however, moving on to my next topic, I want to talk about Dave Portnoy in regards of his remarks when it comes to Caitlin Clark in Times Magazine. Dave Portnoy is an individual, part of Barstool Sports podcast or whatever, and he had these remarks to say. Check it out.
All right, this is probably like a day late. I got to do a Caitlin Clark rant. She's getting from all sides right now. She was voted or awarded Time Athlete of the Year. No-brainer. Nobody's uplifted a sport, done more, been more in the news than her. Shout out to me when Nike signed her for the contract. I wrote an article that is the biggest ripoff of all time. The deal should have been like 100x. They pay, I think, Devin Booker more than Caitlin Clark. You want to talk about sexism and all that shit? Talk about how they got away with that. Anyhow, I feel for Caitlin. Listen, I love Caitlin Clark. I've loved her now since like junior year in college when I started watching her play basketball. I was all the way through the Angel Reese thing, where Angel Reese was classless in the way she handled beating her the national title. I went back. I followed her every move through the pros, everything. And I will say this loud and clear. Caitlin Clark's popularity has absolutely nothing to do with the color of her skin. Anybody who has actually watched women's basketball or watched basketball and watched Caitlin knows she plays totally different than any woman before her. She's running, she's gunning, passing, pulling up from the logo like a Steph Curry type game. Never seen it. The first time I saw her, I was like, who the fuck is this? And I've watched basically every single Fever game, all her playoff games in college. Since then, nobody plays like her. Nobody. That's why she's so captivating. That's why the attendance records are up. That's why the television records are up. It's all Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark put the WNBA on her back. Caitlin Clark was not in the WNBA. Nobody would be talking about women's basketball. Period. End of story. That's how it goes. Period. Now, race has become a huge story around her, not because of her. She's never commented about it. It's basically her greatness has been co-opted by both sides, left and right. You have a lot of jealous basketball players, pundits, whatever, race baiters, being like, oh, the only reason Caitlin Clark is getting all these endorsements, all this attention, everything is because she's white. That's bullshit. There's been a ton of white players who were great in the league before her. Nobody cared. Nobody's showing the same attention. Why? Why is it Caitlin? Whether color of skin, white players, black, nobody was like Caitlin. So that's all a bullshit narrative, whether it's jealousy, past gripes, whatever it may be, not true. Caitlin never once really talked about race. Everyone's talking about her, chap, grabbing her, pulling her, co-opting basically her. Caitlin Clark reminds me in a lot of respects of Larry Bird and Michael Jordan, or greats. Just wants to play basketball. Does not want to be the center of a race war in America. And then the Time Magazine article of the year. And Caitlin Clark basically says, I want to make it clear, everything I have gotten, I've earned myself. But yes, as a white person, there's white privilege, and I want to elevate this league, and I respect all the black players who have come before me. My truth, I'm comfortable in my skin. Well, what do you know? All the people who are like co-opting this, who aren't real basketball fans, who aren't real Caitlin Clark fans, are like, oh, the woke mob got to her. She's now saying her success is because of the skin and she has privilege. First of all, she didn't say she had that. She said she earned everything she got. But what do you want Caitlin Clark to do? What do you want Caitlin Clark to do? She plays in a league that is predominantly African-American, and she wants to maybe show up at work and not have people hate her. She wants
See, this is where I disagree with him. And I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, maybe Caitlin Clark has said that she wants to elevate black players because white privilege exists, right? But the point is, at the end of the day, when it comes to sports, there's no such thing as when it comes to race. You just compete. So the point that I'm making is, at the end of the day, she pandered because just like he said, to me, he came off hypocritical because he just basically said, oh, she wasn't entertaining the race thing and she was basically neutral and she was just focused on playing basketball. Well, that's what people loved her for. When she started entertaining this race thing in regards of the haters around the league and these drama queens that her colleagues, let alone these other basketball players around the league that continue to be envious of her and kick her back in like a Cheryl Swoops and all these other individuals who've been there and they just mad at her success and she brought more value to the league and been a marketing tool more better than ever to be valuable enough to change the trajectory of the league and bring charter flights and everything else to the league where she put more money in these women's pockets and she's the golden goose basically um the beneficiary of their the things they've been advocating for, like charter flights and getting paid more. And that's why now to the point where they done had somebody that actually is standing at the forefront and showing that, oh, this league can be entertaining. Oh, this league can be competitive and we can focus on basketball and sports in itself. Y'all just totally obliterate the whole opportunity, let alone bash someone who is just focused on playing basketball. So at the end of the day, you're basically like crushing someone that's putting food in your mouth. So you're biting the hand that feeds you because Caitlin Clark is bringing the visibility more than ever to the WNBA, which is why a lot of people are talking about this in the first place. And on top of it, she can sell out tickets in arenas, no doubt about that. That's why she's a marketing tool that can be valuable to the business and turn around the WNBA to make money on its own instead of losing money every single year to the point where this year in 2024 they lost $40 billion. Right? So I say he's being hypocritical because, oh, maybe he want to show what people who like you. Well, when it comes to being great and you're seeking greatness, not everybody's gonna like you. So if you want to keep pandering to these people and be so consumed within the world where you lose yourself, then at the end of the day, the world is never going to be satisfied. So you should continue to be authentically you. So at the end of the day, when you start saying my truth, to be honest, this justifies that she only said a truth to just be liked by her colleagues when she shouldn't care because at the end of the day, she's focused on basketball, which the people resonated with because they want to actually watch the sport. So at the end of the day, she should have stayed where she initially stood on of being neutral and not adding fuel to the fire and entertaining this whole race card. And let's be hypothetical here. As a matter of fact, let me just justify my stance on why I say black people are freer than ever. The WNBA has been predominantly African American, blacks, right? Black woman. So if the black woman claiming that it's white privilege, but the WNBA has been on the backs of black women, wouldn't you say it's more black privilege because they're so busy into the business of bullying her in regards of her saying what they want her to say, and she and Caitlin Clark bent the knee and said and really felt into and succumbing to what they wanted her to say in the first place because they feel like they should be elevated and benefit from the very success that she worked and earned for as a white woman. So let's put it like this: there's black privilege. Black privilege from this basketball league, this WNBA, who was built on the backs of black women who are using their power to bully her in regards to what they want to say or want her to say. And if she don't say what they want her to say, even though we know that it's never going to be enough, because if you check this video out, check the last video I just did, because I talked about the Washington Mystics owner, and she's the co-founder of the Black Entertainment Network, BET. She basically was divisive in saying, you know what? I don't think Caitlin Clark should be Athlete of the Year from Times Magazine. Why they didn't put the whole WNBA on the Times Magazine? Well, who is you to determine what the consumer, the customer of your league has their interest in? If Caitlin Clark resonates with the people and she can sell tickets, which she has proven that and revolutionized the WNBA, who is you to tell the consumer what they should watch and who the spotlight should be on when the market speaks for itself. So this league is divisive on its own and be getting away with it too long, and it's full of drama queens, and it takes away from the business, and that's why the business won't ever thrive. So my point is is actually black privilege. It's black privilege because they're running in the victim Olympics to justify their stance on, oh, it's entitlement. Work hard at it, work hard, and at the end of the day, you will earn what you get. There are some people that just are not they're good at basketball, but they're not great. Everybody isn't going to be part of the greats or the Mount Rushmore of the WNBA or the Mount Rushmore of the NBA, the Men's Basketball League. It just is what it is. You have the greats and you have good players. Doesn't mean good players aren't effective, but at the end of the day, if you're not hating or if you're not being hated on, then you ain't popping. Or let's put it like this: if you ain't great, then they won't talk about you. So at the end of the day, she need to stop worrying about being liked and just focus on the game of basketball. And at the end of the day, she's trying to elevate black women, but at the end of the day, black women should be elevating themselves just as much as they talking about her. So, and you can't tell sponsors and sponsorships and individuals like Nike and Adidas who they should endorse. They endorsed it, Caitlin Clark, because she earned it, and it's a great marketing tool, and she has proven herself to be valuable to their brand. You don't think Nike want to get paid and make sure they have a return on their investment? The WNBA might not care, but these brands do. That's why they have a Michael Jordan part of Nike. You don't think Nike looked at Michael Jordan and said, oh, we're going to sell Michael Jordan and make sure we get a return on our investment because he's Air Jordan. And that's why you have the ones, Nike Air Jordan 1s, the high tops, low tops. They got their return on investment and they still selling out to this day. So it is what it is. She bent the knee and she should have stood on what the people resonate. And 60% of her fan base is based on basically just the sport and supporting her for how she changed the game and kept focus on the game and didn't succumb to this nonsense within this league. But now since she entertained it, it gives her a bad look. Now, I don't think Caitlin Clark is going to do anything to detrimental to her brand, but she shouldn't just never entertain this crap in the first place. And I'm going to leave it there. Let me know you guys' thoughts, comments. Give this video a big thumbs up if you got some value from it. We just having a conversation as usual, and I let off my thoughts. On that note, family, peace.